Welcome to Meadowlark Mansion. You are currently in the basement, and part of this project is to test the students' ability to escape using both accounting and spreadsheet knowledge. You have to work your way from the basement all the way up to the penthouse. Along the way, you will face several layers where you have to figure your way out. So first up, we are in the basement. And what we have here is some hints that we will give the students. And one of the big hints is trust but verify. This is a popular expression in accounting, and we use it a lot in audit where we trust, however, we have to verify. This expression was made famous by this president in the 1980s, and it had to do with the Cold War. Trust but verify. So let's say a student picks Jimmy Carter, which would not be the right answer. What they do is they end up going backwards to the graveyard, and they end up in the boot hill of tax evasion. And from here, they're going to have to click on one of the plots where the person actually was not convicted of tax evasion. Let's say they click on Al Capone. That would not be correct. So let's go back here and look at the clue. It says, all but one sweet child. One Sweet Child of Mine was a song by Guns N' Roses. And if we come over and we click on Axl Rose, it'll bump us back to the basement. From there, let's say we click on Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's picture will slide over and it'll expose the stairwell. So if we click on the stairwell, that bumps us to the first floor. And with that said, we have a clue here. Remember the clue from the basement, which is trust but verify. And the way this is set up is that most of the cells are locked where students cannot edit it. However, I do have an area over here where I did not lock them. And trust but verify simply means that there's probably something fishy going on here. And if we kind of scan this, we have our gross pay and we have our withholdings to get to our net pay. And what I'm going to do here, and again, this may take the students a little bit, and we could give them some hints on the way, but we're going to put in the formula equals C7 minus the sum of all of the taxes to get the net pay. And we're then going to copy that down and compare it to the actual net pay. And what you see here is that there is an error or a fraud in check number 115. So what we need is we need a number to get to the second floor. And what that number is going to be number 115. And we're going to use that number. We're going to go up to review, unprotect sheet, and we're going to put in the password 115. When we do that, we are able now to edit anywhere in the document. We're going to move down, hit first floor 3, and click on the link to the second floor. Right there. And now that takes us to the second floor, where we have another problem that we must solve. What we have over here is basically a lot of cells that are covered up. The hint says a little concentration. So this is a take on the old concentration game where you had a little puzzle within a puzzle. So first we have to look at this and kind of figure out what's going on. So what we have is a range 1. So if we think about it, what is range 1? It's probably over here. And what we're going to do when we click on this, it's going to give us a message that says unprotect range 1. When we do that, the password will be 123, which will be Lotus 123. We will also do that for this area, which is WordPerfect. We'll do it for this area, which is QBO. And we'll do this over here, which would be SAP. And when we do that, it'll free us up to delete out this information. And that leads us to the little concentration here. And with that said, if we figured out we got some rice, we got a harp, we got a which is the guy, and we got Bryce Harper. From there, we got to figure out a number to get us out of this floor onto the next one. And Bryce Harper is number 3, which will be the password to unprotect the sheets. And also, we got to pay close attention to this hint because we need to minus this number when we get to the 3rd floor. We will also have to add it later on. So again, let's remember 3. So when I move that down after I unprotect, I click on this, and I'm now on the 3rd floor. And once again, over here, we have some cells where we can do some work in. Everything else is protected. And the hint here is, what I'm seeing is some symbols over here. And the students have to think about this and what's going on. Most of them will have no idea, but I left a little clue here. One characteristic that makes information useful is accessibility. You can access it, and it is available in a format you can use. So right now, this format is not accessible to us. However, if we change the format and we take it out of Webdings and put it into Times New Roman or really any other font, we can now see letters. So again, we haven't changed anything other than the format. Let's go to hint number 2. You will need to minus this number that was obtained in the 2nd floor, and that number was 3. So what I'm going to do is use this table over here, and I'm going to convert the F to a 6, the D to a 4, etc. And what I'm going to now do is minus 3 from this number, and I'm going to minus 3 from all of the numbers over here. I'm going to get some new numbers. I'm now going to go back to my table. 3 is C, 1 is A, 19 is S, etc. Our password to unprotect the sheet will be cash is king. And when we do that, we're going to slide hit number 3, and we're going to see the link to the penthouse. We're going to click on that, and it's going to take us to the penthouse. So now we're getting close to be able to escape. However, it says that we will have to answer some questions. So once again, most of the spreadsheet is protected except for this area right here. And what the students will have to do is answer some of these questions. And as they put in the questions, some numbers will be highlighted. And what we're going to have to do is add some new numbers plus the old numbers from the 2nd and 3rd floor. So if we add up these numbers, and again, this wouldn't be on there, they would have to do that, we get 48844. What we're going to do is unlock or unprotect this sheet. When we do that, we can move hint 2 out of the way, we click on the helicopter, and off it goes. And that is the escape from the Meadowlark Mansion.